Welcome back, everybody. We got our newest project up in the air. This video we are going to do the full mechanical walk around and just see exactly what this $500 clapper or good candidate to go back on the road is. So I got her up in the air. We'll probably start with the steering suspension components, do a shakedown on that. We took a quick peek under the hood, if you remember. We did check the air filter, but it probably needs one. Oil was full, probably needs a change. Coolant is green, which I'm not happy about. The power steering fluid is disgusting. That'll need a flush. I'm sure it needs a cabin air filter. Washer solvent's good, of course. Can't really see a whole lot with all the beauty covers on and everything like that. We do need a clutch fan. That thing's tighter than 3 coats of paint. Sounds like a Greyhound bus. We'll address that as well. But in the meantime, let me get you set up. Let's take a look at this steering suspension stuff. All right, like the black car that we looked at, holy cow, I just peeked under here. This thing's been parked in the garage for a bit. She's definitely leaking everywhere. You can see the underside. We'll get under and take a better look, but this is gonna need to be power washed. It's just disgusting. Anywho, so let's take a look at this. I'm gonna shake her down 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, checking for steering and suspension looseness, and then 12 and 6, let's check out the wheel bearings. Not terrible. I'll do the wheel bearings tight, and a little bit of control arm bushings are definitely moving a bit. I don't know about did y'all see the ball joints or the tie rods moving? Well, that all looks good there. Let's go to the other side. Ooh. I'm sure that's picking up on camera. Wheel bearing feels good. Let's see, what's flopping around, guys? You tell me. Lower ball joint. Yay. So right here is the lower ball joint. Let me shake her around a bit. Y'all see that movement? That's really bad. So we're gonna need some control arms and lollipops. That's to be expected. Brakes rolling fine on both sides. Well, let's pop the wheels off and we'll check the brakes themselves. We got all 4 wheels off. That was a lot of fun. Lugs were on there with all the torques. They're actually a little corroded up. We'll put those in the cheek poker and clean them up. Looks like the rotors are really new. Those pads are like brand new. You want to check both sides, guys, because that piston can stick and cause excessive wear on one side and not the other. And you can get a look on the back side as well. Both real meanie. We got the brake pad wear sensor in place. The brake line looks good. Looks like, again, we got the original shocks. The bump stop's still up there, but I'm sure she's toasty. I don't think we're gonna get into doing shocks. That's one of those things that I just feel like leaving for the next owner, and they can put on what they want. But safety things like that control arm on the other side, that was really bad. And you can see the boot on this inner ball joint is popped off too, so that joint's probably bad. So we definitely need a pair of control arms. Sway bar links so far look okay. Let's go to the driver rear. A lot of meat on that pad as well. Rotor looks good. No big lip. Pads look pretty good. Probably about 50%, maybe a little bit more. Definitely not as new as the front, but in good shape. Again, original shocks. Bump stop is the 2-piece design. Coil spring looks good. I don't see any broken bits. I don't see anything bent at this point. Brake line is dry. I see I did put the new trunk lights in. I did have a pair here, so pop those in. This side again looks really good. Rotor's clean. I don't see any signs of leaks, no broken spring. And the 2-piece bump stop. So definitely needs shocks all the way around. I'm not ruling out that I won't do shocks and struts, but let's get a full estimate of what this thing needs. And I got another brand new rotor, brand new pads. Oh, yeah, they look good. Original shock, brake hose looks good. So I guess the next thing is let's get under it. I'm gonna drop this engine shield. That way we can get a good look at everything underneath there, see where all that's coming from. I'm guessing everywhere. All right, we're underneath, and the first place to look, we did have the -40 on the dash, so that ambient temp sensor is gone. There's the drain plug for the radiator, that's nice and dry. The oil cooler for the trans, that's nice and dry. Let's see, sway bar bushings look good. We do have some wetness on the pump, the power steering pump. It could be dripping down from something, it's hard to tell. We are soaking wet on this oil pan. I'm sure that oil pan gasket is bad, which fantastic. Look how much grime is on this sway bar. Oh, that's just ridiculous. Belts look pretty good. No noise from the tensioners or anything like that, so don't have to worry about that. This hose looks good. I'm also looking at the color of these plastics, so if you start seeing the plastic connectors turning brown, that means they're pretty old and need to be replaced. It's just how it fatigues, and then they'll pop on you. Yeah, that sway bar bushing's good. See, these links look okay. So just original shocks and struts all the way around. Obviously, we'll have to replace the control arm. If you have mild HD arms, you can replace the ball joints, but not the factory or factory style replacements. Rack is dry. I mean, it's oil caked, but that's from another leak. Power steering line is actually attached. A lot of times they get broken off, especially if they don't have the under tray on. There's a plastic tray that goes under here that's missing. I might have a spare. Really wet back here. But looking up, it might be hard for you guys to see, but I don't really think the valve cover is leaking. I can see evidence of old, but I don't see it wet. At least there. We'll run our hand along it from the top. I don't see any staining on these cats. That's usually where they'll drip down to, in the back corner. Even the side of the block is looking pretty good. But it looks like it's mostly just this oil pan gasket. I'll have to swing on the other side, check the oil filter housing. All this on the trans, again, is just blowback. We'll degrease everything. This is the ZF automatic. Way you can tell whether it's ZF or the Getrag, or I'm sorry, the ZF or the GM. The GM will have a flat bottom trans pan, and this has got a stamped one on the ZF. So if you're ordering parts, seals, service kits, just take a quick look. You don't have to find the actual ID tag. Just look at the oil pan, you'll know. Exhaust looks good. Let me spin around here. Got our, on this side, there's another ambient temp sensor, and that's basically for heated washer nozzles. Not all cars are equipped with it, but if you see one on the passenger side, the right side, that's what that is. It actually looks like oil filter housing gasket's dry. That's pretty surprising. You'd see a lot of wetness on this side. I really don't see it. So we could have, could be the reservoir leaking or just that hose. I'll probably just buy a new reservoir. They're silly cheap, like 15 bucks. And then we'll just get the hose, replace that so it's all set. And it's our oil level sensor. We did not have the oil light on when it started up, so that's good. Those look like original engine mounts. The steering shaft coupler looks okay. Here's our little reservoir for the flap for the muffler. Yeah, the trans looks dry, just blow back. There's our oxygen sensors. My light's dying. Let's see, this Guibo's got stress cracks in it, so we're gonna need to replace that. I cannot see the center support bearing because that is about here underneath this heat shield, but we'll get one of those too, just in case it needs it. You got to take all that stuff down to get to that CS or that Guibo anyway. Diff is dry. Axle seals look good. Diff mount's got a crack in it, so we might want to do that. Oh, it's a lot quieter than the silver car. Oh yeah, there's a real bad crack in it. So we need a, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, especially with this light kicking off, but there's a big crack in that bushing. CV boots all look good. So underside, not too bad. Let's go back up top and take a look at the engine bay again. All right, so I'm just taking a look at this valve cover gasket. We're dry. Yeah, completely dry. So we don't need a valve cover gasket. That's good. Let's see, topside again. We know that power steering fluid is nasty. We'll order a new reservoir and a hose. Intake boots look good. I think the next step is we're gonna pop this air box out and we're gonna do a smoke test. All right, well, we got the air box out of the way. Here we can see a reservoir for the power steering, definitely a little grody. I mean, they do sweat. I'm not too worried about that. This upper line doesn't look too bad. You guys probably aren't gonna be able to see it, but for my peeking in there, oil filter housing gasket is nice and dry. You would also see it. Again, just really getting a camera in there is just impossible, but you'd see it all down the side of the block. You'd be sitting in all the little ribs. There's nothing in there. So I'm confident we don't need to do the oil filter housing gasket. The Vanos line looks okay. It's definitely been replaced, which is good. You definitely don't want to lose that. That's full oil pressure. CCV, I mean, that's probably original, never touched. But we're gonna go ahead and do our smoke test. We got our Autoline Pro Ventus smoke machine. I absolutely love this thing. We've got the intake adapter already inside. We took the air box out, and this thing, all you gotta do really is just hook up that one hose, hit power, you hear it bubbling, and we already have smoke. So I'm gonna connect that up to our intake adapter here. You can see I got her attached right there. We know we're blowing smoke. And we'll just start looking. I mean, obviously, if I start seeing smoke, well, we might have to pull the cabin filter housing off, the beauty covers. We just want to get, baseline. Do we see smoke? And then if we do, then we'll look further as to where it's coming from, if it's not obvious. And we want to let this thing fill up with enough smoke that when we open the oil fill cap, we get some smoke out of that. That tells us that the crankcase is full. And also, that annoys me. It's upside down. It's not hard. There's only two ways you can go on, and people put it on upside down all the time. I don't know why. The BMW should face the same way. That's just me. Also looking under here, this line going to the booster is nice and solid. I have seen them where they're totally collapsed and routed out. Our F connector looks good. Our upper intake looks good. Upper intake boot, looks good. I'm still not seeing any smoke, so that's a good sign. This thing really doesn't have any vacuum leaks. I mean, it does run really, really well. So it's not surprising, but usually there's something small, maybe the vacuum line on the SAP, but that looks good. Doesn't look too rotted. Looking in the back here, I don't see smoke rising up in the back side of the intake. This O-ring is holding. I don't say we don't have any vacuum leaks. Maybe preemptive, but that's what I'm seeing so far. I don't have smoke coming out of there yet, but still not seeing anything. That's encouraging. You would see it really quickly. Even with the throttle blade closed, you're gonna see it pretty quick. If there's leaks, it fills up pretty quick on the intake side. So while that's pumping, got the wheels off. Tread, these are the rears. They're close to the wear bars, both sides. They're not there yet. Same thing with the fronts. So they're about done. I mean, you get through the summer on them. All right, I'm just starting to see some loss of smoke. You can barely see it there on the camera, but it is starting to come out of the oil fill tube, or yeah, oil fill. I'm not seeing anything anywhere else, so we are good. We don't have any leaks, any vacuum leaks anyway. Shut down our ventus here and unplug this. Now we can open up the intake adapter. And we can see the smoke. So we know we were filling with smoke, just in case you guys thought that we weren't. But yes, we were making lots and lots of smoke. So we are good. I think that pretty much wraps up the majority of the mechanicals, at least things that I would be concerned with. Recap what we found. We need lower control arms. We need lollipops. Severe oil pan gasket leak, which also means engine mounts. We need a Guibo center support bearing. I think that was about it. I might be forgetting something. I'll have to go over the video again, but that's what I remember. Brakes are good. Could use some shocks. But leak wise, like the only thing really looks like that oil pan. So I think we'll put this thing back together. Not today, but another day I'll take this outside and we'll pressure wash the underside. I got absolutely destroyed working on the silver car with oil pan. I mean, you see how much oil is just sitting down here. I scooped that out. But yeah, mechanically, other than that, I think we're good. I also did replace the driver's side window. This small back window that I broke is going to be here tomorrow. And a note, the internet says no, but as far as I can tell, the driver window or the front windows are the same as coupe and convertible, which makes sense. They do have different part numbers, and a lot of posts online say that they're different, but fits in, the doors are the same, and it fits just fine. It comes up, meets this body line just fine, meets the top just fine. I had the molding piece that goes along the window, that fits fine. So once we get this back window in, that'll be our 100% check that'll be our 100% check that that window is fine. So yeah, I think the only thing left really for this video is we need to scan for codes. We did have an engine light that was on despite the battery being off for a long time, so we need to scan that. I'll get you guys set up there shortly. And also, these are the two diehards that were in the car, and you can see they've both been on tenders. They're both green, they're both charged, they're holding 12 plus volts. So both these batteries are good. So I got a couple extra batteries. We'll put one back in the car, obviously, and then I'll keep my spare tester. But it's good to know that these are both good. All right, so we're set up here at the car. This is what I'm going to use: an ELM327 Bluetooth/Wi-Fi scanner. Just plugs in down here into the OBD port. So as you plug it in, you probably start seeing some lights flashing. That's good. For this kind of scan, they work pretty good. So let me just start it up, show you that yes, the engine light is on. So we do have the engine light on. We also have DSC lights on. We're gonna have to get input to scan that. But right now I just kind of worried about what the engine light is. So we're gonna turn that off. You can't hear me over that SAP pump, but the SAP pump does run, so that's good. So let me get connected here, and we'll scan for codes. So I did scan it with that ELM327 and the OBD Fusion app. Unfortunately, I lost all the audio, so I'll just throw up a quick screenshot. There was a code P0741, which is a torque converter solenoid circuit issue. Could be an issue with the torque converter, but it may also just be low fluid. We're going to start the easy thing first and just make sure that we got proper fluid levels. I reset the code. We'll have to drive it to see if it comes back. There was also a PO174, a lean code. Kind of odd that there was only just the one lean code. Generally there's PO171 and PO174 together. It's usually both banks, so this is only one bank that was showing a little lean. Again, I reset it. We'll see what comes back. But we do want to see what is the code for the DSC lights that are on. So I've got input fired up here on laptop. All you need is just a cheap laptop. The software's free. Then you got a KD CAN cable that's got a switch on it from Amazon. It's about 30 bucks. And then you can get in there and scan away. So we need to first click E46. So let's go ahead and let's do the engine first. So this is an M54 MS43. That is a normal error. Don't worry about that. Just hit OK. And we're going to go down here to F4 error. We're going to read the memory. And okay, so we've got misfire cylinder 5 and a lambda sensor bank 2. No, I can't read German. I just have been looking at these quite a bit and kind of remember what some of the codes are. So I'm going to screenshot that real quick and we'll clear them out and see if they come back. We have to go back into E46. We are going to check transmission, see if there's any codes in there. It's going to be the GM or ZF. This is a ZF trans. Click on error. Read for errors. No errors, so that's good. We'll get out of that. And the next thing we want to check is the DSC. So I go into here. I think it's MK60. Again, that's a normal error. Normal error. And we're going to click that. Read the memory. And let's sensor implausible. Defective sensor. I don't remember which sensor this is. I'll have to do some Googling, but it's probably the steering angle sensor. That's pretty common. Then what we'll do is we're just going to clear them all out. See if anything comes back. Yep, we got one that came back right away. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start this thing up. And I've killed the battery, so we're not doing that. So this has had some battery drain issues, which makes some sense. Probably is the final stage resistor. I don't think this is a bad purchase at all. I already do have some parts on order. We ordered the fan clutch, oil pan, gasket, lower control arms with lollipops, rear diff bushing, power steering reservoir. I did forget to order the 2 hoses for it, so we might have to get that coming as well. But other than that, this car really doesn't need much. You know, for being salvage title, 165,000 miles or whatever it is, 164. I think it's pretty decent. She's already becoming a workbench. Got the rear quarter glass to throw in there. Got some brakes for my Tundra. That needs a little love. But other than that, 500 bucks, guys. Really doesn't need a whole lot. Maybe some tires. Cosmetics, you know, so-so. Already have a few people that have kind of been like, hey, let me know when you're ready to sell. We might be interested. So we get the parts in, get it driving, and see if any of those other codes come back. But other than that, I think for 500 bucks, this is a pretty good deal. You guys let me know. What do you think? So far, I've got 500 plus the 13%, so it was like 570, call it. 200 bucks, 250 bucks for a key. Then I just ordered 750 bucks in parts. So I'm in at, what, $1,600? I don't think that's too bad. I think this is easily a $2,500 to $3,000 car once done. Look for a seat for the driver's side. The passenger side is not too bad, but that one's pretty roached. Found some cheap seat covers, you know, 200 bucks for the pair on eBay. That might be a route to go as well. So then we got to get that work done that I got parts ordered, get it cleaned up, and then hopefully down the road. Appreciate you guys all watching. Let me know what you think, if this is a good deal or not. And make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe. Channel's growing really well. Really happy with all the positive feedback and the comments. And we will see you in the next one.